Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. A couple days ago, I uploaded a video talking about Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony's new studio that they created, and it was announced at Summer Game Fest. So in that video, I said that it reminded me of when, and I'm doing this on just Chrome, Google Chrome. I could do all this in the slideshow, but I'm just going to do it on the internet because it's going to be a little bit easier for me. So in that video, I mentioned that it reminded me of when the Infinity Ward devs and founders they left Call of Duty, they left Infinity Ward, they left Activision, and they went and created Respawn Entertainment. Respawn ended up making games like Titanfall in 2014, and it was their first game. It was pretty successful. They made a second one, and then they eventually did a spin-off game, which was Apex Legends. And at the same time, because this came out March 2014, and at the same time, Activision made a game that was similar to that, which was Advanced Warfare. They have very similar names. And stuff like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because that is kind of controversial, and I don't want to make this controversial. But again, the guys at Infinity Ward left and created Respawn, so it looks probably like Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony are looking to do something similar. But back to Call of Duty and Blundell and Dave Anthony, they were the creators behind, or the devs behind, the Black Ops, first Black Ops game. And I tell a lot of people that literally no one outside of Call of Duty Treyarch knows that Black Ops was inspired by a movie, or several movies, but specifically the one about the numbers and the Mason and the numbers and what do the numbers mean and the number towers. That was taken directly from a movie, and you're gonna see where I'm going with all of this. But keep in mind, movies have 100% been the inspiration for Call of Duty games and zombies games. I again am the only one that knows that outside of Treyarch. Maybe some content creators that get invited and they have to sign NDAs. They're not allowed to talk about this stuff. But 100% of the games and eventually the zombies mode are inspired by several different movies. So again, in Black Ops, it's about brainwashing people using numbers and number towers and transmissions. So that was taken from a movie that came out in 2009, which was called Knowing. And in that movie, there is a little girl who had a couple numbers, and funny enough, I think it's a boy and a girl, but I think more specifically, a girl had numbers pop into her head. She doesn't know how she got the numbers or whatever. And then when eventually she got older, or a couple years, they opened a time capsule because she wrote a bunch of numbers and put it in a time capsule. Then a couple years later, those numbers were significant in world events that happened. Same exact thing in Black Ops, where the numbers go into Mason's head. He doesn't realize what the numbers mean to the end of the game. It's to trigger you or to give hint of something that's going to happen on certain dates. So it's the exact same thing. And maybe I can click on an image to show you. Because they do use the same red number sequence and stuff like that. Maybe like this one. Yeah, if you can see here, it's exact same number sequence and the same thing as you get in the Pentagon and the Pentagon Thief. And in the zombies mode, you get the same number sequence. So that was what they originally used to inspire them to create, or partially create, the Black Ops series. Again, nobody really knows that. People don't do research like they used to. People just kind of, honestly, content creators nowadays just throw any crap to the wall, hope that something sticks, and people are going to believe anything. But that was inspired by this movie. Again, the numbers dictate or predict when a devastating event, natural disaster, or human disaster is going to occur. Again, same thing that happened in the Black Ops series, that um, Mason predicted when JFK was going to get killed. He was brainwashed, and they fed him the numbers. And it's the same thing here. I believe in this one, it's more science fiction based, which I like a little bit better, because I believe it was aliens trying to help humans, trying to tell you, hey, these are when the events are going to happen. It was either another dimension or aliens that told them that this is what's going to happen. Just be careful on those dates. These are a number of people that are going to die. It even told them like the time and the number of people are going to die, the date, maybe even the GPS locations, stuff like that. So going forward, Deviation Games released, and I'm not going to click on it. They released another video called "Ode to Joy," and in that they talk about how movies are their big inspiration. They have one little line in there. I think Jason's the one that mentions it. How their background are movies, and I know they're one of their executive board members comes from Sony Pictures and has a movie background. So what I'm thinking is it's gonna be their next game, or their first game is gonna be something that is movie based. Again, going back to Titanfall and Respawn in Advanced Warfare, they're probably going to break away with what they're familiar with or what they know from Call of Duty is successful, and it's having stuff based off of movies. Again, I don't have anything here, but Fortnite, that was also what made Fortnite so successful. Originally, they hinted at movies. They didn't have licensing rights, but they got so popular. Eventually, they got the John Wick license. Right now, they're doing Independence Day. They did Aliens. They did a bunch of movies in Fortnite. So movies are very big in video games, and the reason I like that too is because it makes you feel like you're part of the movie world. Let's say you watch like, and I guess what's coming up would be a good example. Let's say you watch Saving Private Ryan, which has also been in Call of Duty, but like in Saving Private Ryan, let's say now you go transported to Warzone and Verdansk, and you get like a World War II vibe. Now you can be part of that Saving Private Ryan world, or whatever other World War II game or movie. You can now be part of that world. You can walk around. So what it made me think about is, what if, because it's Sony based, what if Avatar is what Jason and Dave are gonna work on? Like they're gonna make a game based on the Avatar series, or the Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 are going to be released in the next couple of years. What if, and Jason originally for Black Ops 3 wanted to make a fantasy world, but it got scrapped by Activision. So this would be right up their alley, or Jason's alley, as far as wanting to make a fantasy. I want to say science fiction, but let's just say science fiction fantasy world. And now they can kind of create their own fantasy world similar to that, where now they have the rights from Sony, because James Cameron uploaded a clip on Sony's website, and Sony is the one that is making um, the Avatar movies, or providing the equipment for the Avatar movies. So that would be exactly right down what Jason and Dave would want to do, or probably should do, because it talks about the camera that they use. And Call of Duty actually uses a lot of these cameras also, to be honest with you. But let's just say, because they have that movie background with Call of Duty, a lot of the games are based off of movies. What if Jason and Dave go to Sony's and like, hey, this is the biggest movie. If you actually look at it, Avatar is literally the biggest box office movie ever, making $2 trillion since 2009. What if Jason and Dave go to Sony and like, hey, this is your biggest games coming up. We have experience with making games based on movies. Let's give us the rights for Avatar, and then we can kind of make a first-person shooter. The only problem is that Avatar 2 is coming out next year. Games take about, you know, 2 years to make it like a great game. I don't think they would want to jump into something and just start crunching um, right away, because that's probably one of the reasons they left Activision anyways, is because of the crunch time. So it looks like maybe they would have it ready for maybe Avatar 3. Maybe it's the end of the trilogy, and they could just make a trilogy pack or a game based on all three movies. So that would be something that would be pretty cool if they can take what they've learned at Call of Duty, kind of their recipe. I don't know the legalities of it if they're allowed to, but then again, I don't think Call of Duty necessarily wrote the book on using movies as inspiration, but it would work out perfectly if they could make an Avatar game backed by Sony, maybe a first-person shooter, a fantasy world, or something similar to that. Maybe Sony doesn't want to risk the licensing rights, so maybe they can make something similar based on the Avatar movies that are coming out, which I think would be pretty cool. The only thing other than that is in 2009, um, Ubisoft made an Avatar game for the Xbox, I believe, and PlayStation 3. So, I mean, and I think it was mobile, also an Android game. So that would be pretty cool if they did something like that to kind of be able to play like a first-person shooter inside the world of Avatar would be kind of nice. And if not, it would be a good idea for Call of Duty to do it. Like, let's say Jason and Dave Anthony don't want to risk, a disaster. Like maybe Avatar would be a disaster and they would lose credibility. Maybe they don't have time or the technology to make the game like they would want to. But maybe Call of Duty should do the same thing. Like, hey, Avatar is coming out. It's gonna be the biggest game coming out. Why not make a zombies mode or a Call of Duty mode? Maybe an LTM even, based around the Avatar series. Again, it probably would make more sense to wait for the third movie and just make a final game made based off the trilogy. Maybe make a longer game, um, and it'll give you more playable area if you take stuff from all three movies rather than just try and cram it into one movie. Or try and just make a game from one movie. Maybe you can take it from all three Avatar movies and make it a bigger, better game, more areas, more weapons, and stuff like that from the world of Avatar. So again, that's just kind of a recap, maybe some stuff that you didn't know. And again, like I try to mention it to people, content creators, especially the zombies community, and that's probably why Craig and Jason and Treyarch put that line that like a little learning is a dangerous thing. Like there's people who think they're the best zombie content creators, but they don't know the basic information of what goes on in the zombies games and mode. The zombies community, and I've mentioned this before, they really only know like 15-20% of what the Easter eggs are, what the games mean, the meaning behind the games. A lot of them just really know what Treyarch gives them. None of them can really, most of them, if not none of them, can figure out what the games mean, the Easter eggs, what the Wonder Weapon means and stuff. I know Call of Duty is giving us most of that right now. They're telling us how the Wonder Weapons are built, the backstory, which is great. I like that too. I like knowing the backstory behind stuff. So it's good that they're giving that to us in Cold War. The backstory of the weapons, the characters, how stuff is created. But again, it would be a perfect opportunity for Jason and Dave to go to Sony and say, "Hey, give us the licensing rights to the Avatar. We'll try and make a game or trilogy game by the end of the third movie, or maybe the second movie's gonna flop. Maybe people are sick and tired of Avatar. Maybe it'll be a good gauge to see if it's something that they can greenlight for Avatar 3." But anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys later.